That old phone you have? Yeah, the one with the cracked screen. Apparently, holding on to it makes you an economic villain. Welcome to WtT, where we cut right through the hype. Let's get into it.
So, this quote from Heather Mitchell, I mean, who can't relate, right? We've all been there, trying to squeeze every last bit of life out of a gadget to save some money. But here's the catch. There's a new narrative being pushed that says this totally common sense habit is actually a huge economic problem. Yeah, they're arguing that you are dragging down the entire economy.
So here's the official line they're selling. The story goes that your personal savings, well, they create this productivity lag that ends up costing all of us. It sounds kind of plausible on the surface, so all right, let's play along. Let's take a look at the evidence they're putting forward.
29 months. This right here is the key number. It's the average amount of time Americans are now holding onto their smartphones before they finally upgrade. And get this, that number is only going up.
And this chart just lays it all out. Back in 2016, the average was 22 months. Today, it's 29. That's a full 7-month jump in less than a decade. That is a massive shift in how we behave as consumers. And this, right here, is the bedrock of their whole argument that we're the problem.
And here it is, the supposed smoking gun. They're pulling out a Federal Reserve report that says when companies delay equipment upgrades, productivity takes a little dip. And they're trying to use that to connect your personal decision not to buy the latest iPhone with a national economic slump. Seems like a bit of a stretch, doesn't it?
The argument goes deeper, though. It's not just that your phone feels a little sluggish. They call it a backwards compatibility tax. Think of it like this. You're on a superhighway, but everyone has to slow down to 20 miles per hour just because one old clunker is on the road. They claim that's what your old phone is doing to our digital infrastructure. And inside big companies, apparently the problem is even worse. And what do you look at these corporate numbers? Almost a quarter of employees are working late because of clunky old tech. And a whopping 88% say it's literally stifling new ideas and innovation. We're not just talking about numbers on a chart here. That's real people's time and real potential just poof, gone. So, okay, they've laid out their case. Old phones are bad, new phones are good for the economy. Simple, right? But doesn't that just feel a little too convenient? A little too unique? You really have to start asking, who does this story actually benefit? And that's exactly what we do here. Cut through the convenient narratives. So before we completely tear this argument apart, if this is the kind of no-nonsense analysis you're looking for, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button for WtT. It really does help us keep doing this. Okay, let's get right into it. This is the exact point where their entire argument completely falls apart. They're making a huge logical error, confusing a shopping spree with actual progress. Productivity is simple. It's output per input. Just buying a new phone doesn't magically make anyone more efficient. Pretending it does is, frankly, just wrong. And on top of that, they're conveniently ignoring something called the total cost of ownership. A new device isn't just the sticker price. You gotta deploy it, configure it, train people how to use it, secure it, integrate it. Oh, and then you have to get rid of the old one, which is now toxic e-waste. These are huge, real-world costs this narrative just sweeps under the rug. Which, of course, brings us to the most important question. It's time to follow the money. You have to ask the oldest question in the book. Who benefits? Who really profits from convincing you that your perfectly good phone needs to be replaced every 2 years? Let's be brutally honest here. This is the hard truth the original article will never touch. The relentless pressure to upgrade, it has very little to do with your productivity. It's all about shareholder-friendly churn. It's about business models that need predictable replacement cycles. It's about them, not you. And this gets to the very core of it. It's a strategy called planned obsolescence. And no, it's not some conspiracy theory. It's a deliberate business model. They design products to have a limited lifespan, on purpose, using fragile parts, gluing in batteries so you can't replace them, and cutting off software support right on schedule. They build the trap, and then they blame you for not wanting to buy your way out of it. So is there a better way? Yes, of course there is. The answer is not to turn your perfectly fine phone into some kind of macroeconomic scapegoat. The real answer is to get a whole lot smarter about our approach to technology. And that smarter path looks something like this. First, a targeted refresh. You upgrade the one thing that's the actual bottleneck, not just a blanket replacement.
Second, we demand modular repairable devices. Let us swap out a battery or a screen. And third, optimize the software before buying new hardware. So often, the real problem is bloated code, not a slow chip.
And I love this quote because it completely flips the entire script. Instead of your old phone being a problem, it could become a massive economic asset. Think about it, a robust, sustainable economy built around repair and refurbishment. That creates jobs, reduces waste, and makes technology more accessible. The old device isn't a problem, it's a resource. Because at the end of the day, the real takeaway is this. Genuine productivity gains come from better processes, not just better specs. It's about training and smarter workflows. I'll take a well-trained employee on a 4-year-old laptop over a poorly trained one with the latest shiny gadget any day of the week. So, the next time you feel that pressure, that little nagging voice telling you it's time to upgrade, just ask yourself one simple question. Is this upgrade for my productivity, or is it for their profit? The answer tells you everything you need to know. That's it for this edition of What the Tech. Stay skeptical